Marlon can set the tone for us here, please. What exactly is the social registry, and what role does it play in St. Martin's social development framework?
So the social registry is basically a secured government database where information is stored and collected regarding household needs.
Okay, and why was the registry developed, and what entities or which entities were responsible for its creation?
So the social registry was developed by the Ministry of Public Health, Social Development and Labor in collaboration with NRBP and the World Bank. And the main reason for having the social registry was to be able to ensure that persons would be able to get services at a very faster pace after a disaster.
Okay. How does the social registry define or determine what constitutes a vulnerable household?
Okay, well, that is done with all the information that is collected. So all the information that we have within the database, we use two different kind of methods. One is a scoring method, and the next one will be vulnerability filters. So basically what that is saying is that persons are not just going to be picked as, okay, well, we think this one is vulnerable, yes or no. The system identifies all of that and it gives it a score. The individuals would receive a score, and then based off of the score, we would determine, okay, this household is vulnerable.
Gotcha. Mrs. Bandajo Ogis, I want you to jump in here. What are the core differences between complex and non-complex household cases in the context of the registry?
Yes, okay. So as Malika mentioned, the scoring method basically determines what type of case it becomes, whether it's a non-complex or complex, but the key difference is in the type of needs of the household and the level of support that we offer. For example, with non-complex cases, it usually involves one or more straightforward issues, which could be helping someone with requesting financial aid or arranging psychological support for an individual. With complex cases, now it involves more serious challenges and it would require more coordinated support from different agencies. So we
Okay.
would work together to create a custom care plan, and that would be then tailored to the needs of the household.
Okay. I want to get into the current function and impact of the social registry. I know it's not fully established, but we're on our way there, and there's certain activities that's taking place pre. So what is the current operational status of the registry, and what milestones have been achieved so far?
Yes, as you stated, we are not yet operational, but we are busy finalizing the service catalog, which is the last step before we actually launch, before we go live. And currently, we also have our data collection that is ongoing with data collectors registering households in the field. And what I would say is a key milestone is that we were able to register so far 930 households in total in our registry. So I think that is something to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. How are the households identified and selected for registration at this stage?
Okay, at the moment we're focusing solely on the cul-de-sac area. There is no selection criteria. Basically, it's all households are welcome to register, and our goal is to have, I would say, a minimum of 600 households registered by the year's end, specifically in cul-de-sac.
Okay. Ms. Marlin, what immediate benefits would you say have registered households experienced since this process began?
So we haven't really began with services that households will be able to receive because we're busy in the phase of the data collection. But once that is done and we have the case management aspect up and running, then the plan is, or the individuals who register in the system would be able to receive services or be referred to services based on eligibility.
All right, let's get into data collection and protection. Sophia, can you walk us through the data collection process? Who collects the data, and what does a typical household visit involve?
Okay, well, we have 3 data collectors that have been trained to carry out the surveys, and the survey is referred to as the SENA, which is our socioeconomic needs assessment. And they basically go door to door in their assigned neighborhoods, and they ask questions pertaining to the dwelling, income, expenses, employment, the services that are being accessed by the household,
Mhm.
and what services they may require. Participation is completely voluntary and confidential. And what we hope ultimately is that we'll have all persons on the Dutch side or Dutch and Martin registered in the system. That's our ultimate goal.
What protocols are in place to ensure the privacy and security of household data?
Well, when the data collectors are brought on board, they're actually required to sign a contract that includes a confidentiality clause. Um, so that's something that is pretty much stressed from on the onset. And the system itself is designed to ensure that the data is protected and securely stored. Uh, for example, there's controlled access, so only authorized personnel can view certain data in the system based on their role, for example. There's also a data privacy law that indicates that we are only permitted to use the data for its intended purpose. And in this case, it would be to support vulnerable households. So there are things that are in place to ensure that the data is securely stored and protected.
Okay, one of the key things I wanted to look into was how does the social registry verify the accuracy of the information once collected? What would your take be on that?
Okay, well, once the data is submitted by the data collectors, that's when the validation process takes place. And that's where we basically check for any duplicates, inconsistencies, missing or incorrect data.
Mhm.
Uh, so during the surveys, they are pretty much not required to provide any supporting documentation. However, at a later stage, if we do select a household for further assessment, at that point, we will indeed request documentation to prove the accuracy or prove the information that's been provided.
Are households informed of how their data will be used and protected before and during registration?
Yes, prior to the survey, the households are read a script by the data collectors that basically explains the purpose of the social registry and the benefits. And it also stresses confidentiality and that the data would not be shared with anyone else without their permission. They are also required to provide consent before they proceed with the questions. So they are informed of what will be taking place.
Sophia, I want to look at the service catalog development. What is the service catalog and how does it complement the registry?
Yes, our service catalog, it basically is a catalog of all the services and support programs that are being provided by government, by NGOs, the FBOs, and it also includes the target groups that these services are targeting, the eligibility criteria, the persons that need to be contacted when referring persons to those services. But the catalog itself is part of our social registry. So it is embedded into the system. And it definitely helps with matching the households to the appropriate services. So it is
Okay.
very important that we get this finalized as soon as possible.
I was about to ask why is finalizing the service catalog such an important step in the overall strategy?
Mhm. Well, like I just stated, it helps us match those vulnerable households to the right agencies based on their needs and on the eligibility. What I would say is key is that it improves the coordination between agencies. So rather than having individuals visit different agencies where they have to repeat themselves multiple times, then here we have a catalog then that would help to assist in coordinating properly to avoid those cumbersome uh, conversations that could deter some persons from even wanting to seek help.
Asset V insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? Asset V is cardless. Request your My Asset V account today and enter the virtual office of Asset V. Go to assetv.sx and sign up now.
Asset V, yeah. Your social health insurances.
24/7 TV programming on www.stmartinmediacenter.com, SXM Daily News, PBS NewsHour, Now You Know, Com programs, documentary, entertainment, sports events, Saturday children's hours, religion programs, and movies. Click on SXM TV broadcast to see your favorite programs.
Dealing with your topic at hand and the two reports. Minister, if I heard you correctly, in your presentation, you said a copy of the reports would be sent to Parliament, the associations, and the public. What about the prosecutor's office? If we are to hold people accountable for their actions, why leave out the prosecutor's office? My other part of the question is, a civil servant, the judge, jury, and executioner that you mentioned, I was told that person is suspended. I'd like to know, why was this person the only person actions was taken against? What about the others?
First and foremost, Bibi, once you submit anything to Parliament, it's public. So anyone, if they deem necessary to get a copy of that, especially when it's at Parliament, they can do that. That's one of the main reasons you make things public, so that it's accessible. I also mentioned that I will be also sending this to the media. Media can also publicize it. So it's up to the prosecutor, whoever wants to take the next action, it's up to them to decide what to do next. As for the person in question, I do not like to discuss internal issues when it comes to employees. The person in question that you're discussing, you're talking about, has been suspended for something different way before these reports were out. Okay?
Thank you, Bibi. Jacqueline Hoffman of the Daily Herald, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good morning, Minister.
Morning.
30 years ago, nobody knew what a gypsy was, and today there are a lot all over the island. While you enforce the rules, how are you also going to make sure that those with a license have fair competition?
Thank you, Jacqueline. That is one of the, I should have mentioned that. Gypsies will also be interested. Strict enforcement and strict right now, the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of VSA, Ministry of Justice, and our ministry, the Ministry of TIAD, is working on strict enforcement of when we issue fines. And once the fines are issued, that's something we're discussing internally, but we are, of course, addressing how we plan to deal with the gypsies, or work on addressing the gypsy situation through the bus system. That's something I will be announcing very shortly after I discuss with the bus association how we plan to address the routing system of the bus, and that too can help a little bit with the gypsy situation, including increasing fines moving forward, and enforcement of fines as well. Those are the three things we're looking at. I don't want to put everything out as yet, but we're looking at enforcement of fines, increasing fines, and creating a new routing system for the bus drivers, which they actually already approached me because that's what they want to do. So we're going to be discussing the approach on how we deal with the routing system for the buses. Yes.
Thank you. We now move on to the second round. Bibi, you have the floor.
Can I get a clarification before I go to my second question?
Sure, go ahead, Bibi.
Has the ministry thought of, while getting rid of Gypsy, like you said, implementing something to accommodate Uber, especially for local people that want to use Uber services? And as for my second question, Minister, has nothing to do with the licensing. My second question is about the marketplace. Can you tell me, Minister, which minister, so I'm saying not you, but prior ministers, we know we had, I think, 2 or 3 of them prior to this government, signed a contract with James & James Construction for the marketplace? Can you tell me how much monies were paid to them as an advance payment? And are you satisfied? Does the work that they have done so far equivalent to the amount of money they have gotten? How much was given to them?
First and foremost, Uber service is like an app. So I mentioned earlier that we will be implementing our own app, a government enforced and a government approved app. And that, of course, is not only for tourists, it's for the locals as well. So I'm sure that will cover the Uber situation. As for the James & James contract, the minister that signed it, of course, is the minister, I think, Leo Lambrie. And I can't off the top of my head right now tell you exactly the amount, but I know a preliminary deposit was made to start the project. But I don't know the amount off the top of my head. But of course, the payment was done. You know, the total of the entire budget is about 600 and something thousand, split between government and Royal. Yes.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
24/7 TV programming on www.stmartinmediacenter.com, SXM Daily News, PBS NewsHour, Now You Know, Com programs, documentary, entertainment, sports events, Saturday children's hours, religion programs, and movies. Click on SXM TV broadcast to see your favorite programs.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has given his strongest signal yet that Jamaicans could soon be heading to the polls. Speaking at a Jamaica Labour Party JLP event in Portland over the weekend, Dr. Holness declared that the time is near and urged party supporters to be election ready. O'Shane Masters has our first story.
It is by now very clear that very soon there will be an election.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness amid cheers from party supporters, just stopping short of naming a date for the general election. He was addressing JLP supporters in Buff Bay, Portland Sunday night. While not announcing the date, the JLP leader emphasized that the mandate must be renewed for the country to continue on its current path of progress. Dr. Holness touted his administration's record on infrastructure, economic stability, and crime reduction, saying the Jamaican people deserve a government that continues to deliver results.
We have not yet officially started our campaign, but I gather that the other people say them tired. When you hear them say, call it, Andrew, call it, it's not because them think them can win. Them just tired and them just want to get it over and done with because they can't go no further. So them know that, me are the long distance tuller.
Now, while the Constitution allows elections to be called anytime within 5 years and 3 months of the last general election in September 2020, Dr. Holness's remarks have fueled expectations that Jamaicans could vote before the end of 2025. The opposition People's National Party, PNP, has for months said they too are ready for the polls. The PNP says it will hold the JLP accountable for what they describe as unmet promises and rising public discontent. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
And Deputy Leader of the JLP, Desmond McKenzie, hinted at when the general election date will be announced. He was speaking at a party meeting in Northwest St. Andrew last night.
And wickedness and bad mind to triumph over good people. So listen out for the announcement where we're going to be Sunday night coming. So you would notice by the actions of a certain individual. We're heading east next week Sunday.
As political tension heightens, opposition leader Mark Golding has reacted to acts of vandalism which happened in eastern St. Thomas Sunday night. Speaking at a party meeting in St. James Sunday night, opposition leader Mark Golding said after viewing viral videos of acts of vandalism circulating on social media, he reported the matter to Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake. In the videos, men were seen using sticks to remove billboards and other orange political paraphernalia in sections of St. Thomas.
We do not want this to get out of hand. Those things can't vote. We know that when the trumpet sound and the election is called, the people of Jamaica are going to deliver a resounding victory for the People's National Party. So we don't want to react in anger to any form of provocation, my people. Don't make them draw way out and make this thing into something ugly.
Mr. Golding says his party will not lose focus and is calling for a peaceful election. Turning to other issues, General Secretary for the PNP, Dr. Dayton Campbell, sought to clarify the party's plans to offer additional academic and co-curricular classes to students.
The way in which the PNP would offer it is that we would see the teachers that are willing to be a part of it, those who want to willingly volunteer to be a part of it, and they would be paid to do so. This notion that we want to go there and just extend school days is not true. What we want to do is to ensure that for those students that need the additional time and the teachers that are willing to work with those students, that we can make the arrangement and pay the teachers. We don't come here so to do the teacher them no harm.